Yes, guys, it's your boy Chronos Boxing, and I'm back with another video. This is a preview to Daniel Dubois versus Fabio Wardley. Now, get this straight. This is going to be a barnstormer. Yes, I feel like there will be fireworks in this match. And in my opinion, I don't think it's going the distance. But yes, let's get into it. We have Fabio Wardley, undefeated, bruv. This guy has been taking heads left, right, and center. He had a decent fight with Fraser Clark in the first one, but it really showed a lot of fragility and how limited he is as a boxer. But in fighting terms and in heart terms, bro, he's got one of the highest in the whole of the heavyweight division. His drive, his mentality is top notch. And his power is no joke. He will dent a flipping big hole dent in your head. He will dent you, bruv. You see what he did to Fraser Clark in the second fight? Bruv, he didn't go past round one. And my man, I thought genuinely needed to go to the hospital after that. That was actually a little bit scary. Not gonna lie, bruv. He dented the man's head. I'm just excited for this fight. Let's go to Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois, he's quality, mate. He is quality. He was a prospect for a long time, and now he's in his, we say, he's in his, like, in the midst of his career right now, and I think he's just starting to hit his physical prime. Mentally prime, I don't know, because his mental has always been fragile. The fragility in his mental has been a big problem. It's why he's lost some of his fights. I genuinely thought if it wasn't for that eye injury, he would have beat Joe Joyce. But you could see, and I can't blame him for it, but he quit in that fight. He couldn't take any more in that fight and took a knee. And I don't blame him for it, but that is the facts. And it's right there for you to see. He quit. And it wasn't the only time he done it. He's done it before against Usyk, where I understand he was not winning. It wasn't like the Joe Joyce fight where I thought, you know what, he still has a chance to win this fight. He was getting beat pretty bad. The only hope or shimmer of light that he had in that fight was a low blow. Don't argue with me. It was a low blow. That looked like it could have, been a body blow that hurt Usyk, like, because he dropped him. But apart from that, he could definitely know and tell that he was down in that fight, points wise, and that there was nothing, like, there was no way he was gonna win this fight. And he ended up taking a knee as well in that fight and quit. So with that mental fragility in hand, that is kind of really, really negative for Dubois. But I can't deny this guy's experience. He, in my opinion, is the technically more astute fighter between both Daniel Dubois and Fabio Wardley. I also think he has more experience in years of boxing, and you can tell by the way they box that he's been boxing for longer. And also, the opposition he has is way higher in opposition that he's fought throughout the years. And the fact that man's knocked out AJ, bruv. He is also a power puncher and can knock people into next Tuesday. So, power aside, I've got Dubois up with skill, but I then have Fabio up on grit, determination, and mentality, bruv. His mentality, do or die. You ain't making him quit. And if he can carry on fighting, he will not stop. Sometimes when you hurt him, he gets even worse. And that's where I think it kind of differs for Dubois, because when you hurt him, it's more like he's looking around like, who's gonna help me? Like, what am I supposed to do? Instead of going for the kill war, learning how to defend and being confident to be able to get to the end of the round, to then go to his coach and get some advice. Once he's in trouble, he kind of looks a bit lost, which is very different from Fabio Wardley. However, Fabio Wardley has looked lost before. when he fought Justice Hooney, which I thought, oh my God, Hooney was absolutely exposing Fabio Wardley in that fight for the fact that he is nowhere near the quality that Justice Hooney is in boxing terms, because he was getting outboxed the whole fight and he looked lost. He was literally like, I, oh man, I can't deal with this guy's technical ability and his speed, and he keeps getting away from my punches. I can't. But he never gave up. He was lost, but he never gave up. And that's why he came out with a victory. He was able to catch. Perfect timing. And that's also down to his coach. I'm not going to lie. That's another factor in this. The coach, bruv. The coaching. Don Charles has been great for Chisora, in my opinion. Yes, a bit up and down with some of their fights. And I thought, you know what? He wasn't doing the right thing for Chisora in this fight. But overall, he's been a very good coach for Chisora. And he's not a bad coach. But with Dubois, I don't know. I can say I've been convinced by Don Charles being in the corner for him. I think you can get him into shape, definitely training him, but getting him mentally in the right zone for a fight, I don't know. And especially the fact of Daniel Dubois' dad as well getting involved. You can't have too many people's voices, especially with someone like Daniel Dubois. And I understand. No, I get it. I understand that his dad probably gets the best out of him mentally in those positions. But that's why you got to find him a proper head coach that can almost emulate what his dad gives him and cut out the dad and just have one person solely in there as committed to him emotionally and also importantly boxing wise, keep him in the game. And I don't know if Don Charles completely has that right now. He might be 60% there, but that's not enough, because that other 40% is going to mess with the Dubois mentality or his concentration, his focus during the fight, because that 40% is being his dad that's spouting whatever he wants to spout while Don Charles is trying to give him instructions. So the coaching is really shaky and can actually jeopardize Dubois in that aspect. But on the other side, I think the coaching for Fabio Wardley is one of the reasons why he's won his last two fights. That coach that he's got, the guy that used to coach Tyson Fury, I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now, but he's a great coach. He's also coached a couple other fighters as well, and he's doing really successful. He's been really successful with them as well and won titles with them. He is great. He's got a great boxing mind and he's got a great boxing mentality that he instills in his fighters, and it clearly has rubbed off on Fabio Wardley. Fabio Wardley clearly at this point, because he's so fresh at boxing, he is like a sponge. And even though he's a bit up there in his age, he's not the youngest right now, but he's still able to absorb all of that knowledge from his trainer, and his trainer is literally helping him win the fights. You see, he's been talking about that Justice Hooney knockout, which some people might have just said that was a punch from the heavens, it was lucky. You hear in the interview after, it was not post-fight interview. He was talking about how he was planning it with his trainer and coach, that they were looking for certain things like that, and they knew that they could expose Hooney's chin with that right hand and the way he fights and his patterns with certain punches, and they were just measuring it up. Yes, it was kind of fortunate for him that he was able to catch it in the last round, but it's no luck that he was able to do it. He trained and had a coach there with him, making sure that he was on it, concentrated, and he was getting that timing in his head, and his mentality was still there all the way at the end of the fight. At the end of the fight, he was still locked in to be able to find that sweet right hand perfectly on Justice Hooney's chin to take the win. And then also for him to be able to do what he did against Joe Parker. Like, mate, that is a difficult fight. You got an experienced, technically astute fighter there, and he can punch as well, and has got much more of a better chin than Justice Hooney. But they obviously tweaked and knew they couldn't do what they were doing with Justice Hooney, and he didn't look lost in that fight. And he was able to get his punches across in that fight, and was able to surprisingly stop Joseph Parker. I mean, yeah, I can agree that it was a bit of a weird stoppage, but everything he was doing to Joseph Parker was no mistake or, weird. He was beating Joseph Parker up. And I just think if he could do some of that stuff that he was doing to Joseph Parker to Dubois, I wouldn't be shocked to say that Dubois might take a knee, because he has before. If he thinks he can't handle the heat, he might go, yo, that's it. I think I would say Fabio Wardley might actually be the faster one, but Dubois is not slow. And I also think that Fabio's feet are faster, but Dubois' footwork is good as well. He's got a very decent, shape to him. So he can cut the ring off. And if he does and catches him on the ropes, I can see there being a scrap where one shot just catches Wardley cleanly, and I can see him going down. But then again, it's like I'm flip-flopping, mate. I'm just making points for each fighter. To me, this fight is one of the most 50-50 fights of the year. The most like cut down the middle. One, because Dubois is a dangerous fighter. He's done it at the world level already, and he's proven himself. Yes, he might have lost, but he's proven himself to be a very, very strong contender. And he's knocked out the likes of AJ. Yeah. And he's technically way more superior and had more time in boxing than Fabio Wardley. But Fabio Wardley he's undefeated, and he's got a decent record now with a couple of good fighters, and he's on his CV. He can punch he can really knock a guy out as well. So they both have destructive power, and they both have, qualities that the other doesn't. So it's literally one or the other. I think it could go either way. It just, for me, it all depends on who lands first. Honestly, it's either that, or if Dubois has what it takes to stay in the heat of the moment and not give up. And yeah, I think if it did have to go to points, I will more lean on Dubois. I think Dubois does have a better jab. And I think just technically in general, he'll be able to win rounds technically throughout that. With a scrap, it'll be 50-50. But everything in between, I think will go to Dubois mostly. But don't get twisted. Fabio Wardley has been improving after every fight. We never know. He might come out with a slick jab all of a sudden and start going in circles around Dubois, running circles around Dubois. We don't know. But that's the beauty of this fight. It's so 50-50 for me. So yeah, leave a like, subscribe, and write in the comment section below what you think of this fight and who you think is going to win. And what do you think of my take? You think I'm just chatting rubbish? Let me know in the comment section below. That's been your boy Kronos Boxing. I'm out. Peace.